You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat, I
looking
don't
at
know,
the
my rap, my
youngest
blood
and
boils
best
over like,
rising star
oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And I ain't gon' wish you shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, BX Sports Jedi brings to you the most upgrowing, fastest growing, most tantalizing podcast of wrestling in the YouTube and the podcast world. I am BX Sports Jedi Kev with the heel, with the MK, with the samurai, with the diff man, with the chef. We are Heel of the Ring podcast. And if you ain't down with that, I got two words for you. Just subscribe. Heel, how are you?
I'm feeling really good. I mean, I don't know about this Raw. I guess that depends on who watched it.
I get you. I want to apologize if my voice sounds a little raspy, a little nasal congested, still battling under the weather. But you know what? Like Vince McMahon said, the show must go on, and the show must go on tonight. So we are here. It is Monday night. Well, we're recording this Tuesday. We know what time is it. It was Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw coming from Wichita, Kansas here. A couple weeks away from Money in the Bank. We going to start it off with a Miz TV promo. We start in the ring. We have the Miz cutting in there with none other than himself, the advocate, the tribal chief advocate, Mr. Paul Heyman. This is the heel. Before we get into that segment, I think this is the first time those two gentlemen ever worked with each other on a segment, on the mic. First of all, I was excited. I said, oh, man, all right, fireworks. You know, these two guys, two of the best promo cutters of the heels in WWE or in wrestling, and I was excited to hear them what they had to say. Before we get into that, what were your thoughts of seeing them there?
Oh, I thought the same thing too. I was like, this is gonna be really interesting because obviously you got two of the best promo cutters in WWE right now. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of people that I can probably hang, but when you think of the two best promo cutters in wrestling in general, you think of The Miz and Paul Heyman, the special consultant to the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And you just thought magic was going to happen.
Right. You know what? It was a good promo. You saw it. I love the fact that he stopped Miz halfway through it and he introduced his own self there. Of course, none other. We had the promo cut and it was interrupted. None other than Riddle. So Riddle comes down to join the party here, and Miz says, "How dare you interrupt?" And I like what Heyman said. You know what? Speak. And that promo back and forth, setting up for Sunday, for actually Friday Night SmackDown's match between the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending his undisputed title against Riddle, and not there. There was also a stipulation. Tell us what was the stipulation there.
If Riddle loses, he can never challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed heavyweight titles again, as long as Roman is champion. On SmackDown.
On SmackDown. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, I'm curious. I have a thought on that, a theory, and we'll leave it for the main event when we talk about theory.
A theory, yeah.
But we'll talk about that. I don't want to give any spoilers. So, all in all, I thought that was a good back and forth. Some people don't want to see the fillers or the promos cutters in Raw, but also the same people that don't want to see that, also the ones that I hear complaining, WWE doesn't have storylines. Nonsense. WWE's been doing this since 40 plus years. Storylines, building a storyline, a character, a plot, and I hate when I hear that contradiction, and they don't hear themselves when they say that, but I do hear it. So let's go right to it. Riddle is in the ring, and he says, "Well, guess what? Here comes the Usos." Now the Usos come out. I thought they were gonna beat the living crap out of Riddle.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna lead into a match, a one-on-one match. Montez Harold versus Jimmy Uso. Ford versus Jimmy Uso. I was surprised. I was like, all right. I was excited for that match. I was like, let's do this. Because Montez Ford, right now, his physique, he's getting over, and they're building him up. What's your thoughts on that before we get into the match?
Yeah, just like you, I was like, oh, stuff's about to go down as soon as the Usos came out. And then you hear Street Profits come out, and you're just like, oh. I was like, are we gonna get a tag team match? Maybe. I was like, no. Instead, we ended up being Montez Ford versus one of the Usos, and I was like, okay, I'm actually down for this because rather people see it or not, the Usos are good workers by themselves, and the Street Profits, they kind of remind me of literally kind of like an old school tag team in a weird way. Even though they're very modern, they kind of remind me of old school tag team in the sense like they can work really well, or they can work themselves. It doesn't matter, and so do Usos. So if you want to get into the match, we can.
Right. Yeah, let's do it. You're having a little bit of technical difficulty on your end. You're freezing. Back to the but that's fine. We can hear you though. Just from time to time, it just comes in and out. The match. When I saw this match, the match was good. It was a good match. Back and forth. We also saw the Street Profits win a number one contenders match last week on Raw on via count out though, and I'm like, wow, they're gonna do this again here, and they're really putting over Montez. And I go, wait a minute, are we getting a Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels moment here with his partner down the road, set up? I just thought about that. I don't know why. I think, it just got to me. And I was like, man, Montez Ford, they're going to look like they're going to make him the Shawn Michaels here. But, I don't want to divert that away from that. The match was good. I was actually surprised that Jimmy got the pin. He got the frog splash, and I was like, whoa, he pinned him. I thought Usos, there's a way you could lose, but all in all, I thought it was really good, and it doesn't lose from Ford's momentum either. Even though he took that singles loss, I still think that feud. I'm looking forward for them to get it when they have a chance to fight for the undisputed tag titles, maybe on Money in the Bank. I was all in all very pleasant. I loved the match, and I loved the whole point there with the whole Miz TV leading into that match. All in all, what's your take on that?
I like the match actually. It was really good. It was probably way better than it was supposed to be. But like I said, these two guys can really work really well in the ring, and it was really clean. I think for the most part, I think there might have been one botch. I'm not sure, but I like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was just a really nice wrestling match, and I enjoyed it. It was a good way to open up Raw, and it actually went for a while. I think we had like 2 or 3 commercial breaks about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so these guys really went for a while, so they prove that they have the stamina to go for a really long time, and it was just a nice, good wrestling match, and I liked it. And it didn't surprise me that the Usos won because obviously they are you basically put all your eggs into the Usos basket to carry that, the
company,
into the future and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, it was what it was, and it was really fun to watch. Actually, really good opening.
Yeah, and it's like you said, Montez Ford, also Corey Graves mentioned on the broadcast. he's gotten jacked up, and hope it doesn't affect his stamina with that match with Jimmy. It really didn't. It was, I think there was, you remember, was right. There was one botch move, if I believe so. I think it was, on the turnbuckle. But other than that, it was a good match. I loved it. I loved it. Got to the point. It got us going there. WWE, and the same thing goes with Dynamite, with AEW. It looks like they're giving us the main event ahead of time. In the opening matches, the first match, usually they're giving us really good match, although I don't think this was the main event, in my opinion. We'll get to that as we review the Monday Night Raw review. I really liked that. I really enjoyed it, and I said, you know what, this is a way to get us invested, especially early at 8:00. You're coming home maybe from work, working out. It's a nice summer day. You're coming home. You turn on Raw immediately before it's an hour before the NBA Finals. Hockey's off. There was no New York sports. Baseball, and it captivated you for at least the 8:00 to 9:00 hour, and it gave you that because the night, as we move along, I thought WWE did it smart there, in my opinion. There, what's your thoughts on that before we move on with the next segment?
Oh yeah, the timestamp for this is really good because imagine they basically gave you 30 minutes just about to get yourself hyped up for the rest of the Raw. It was a good opening match, just simple as that. Because, you literally could have gone out, made yourself a quick sandwich or raw, whatever it was, get yourself a drink, whatever, popcorn, whatever it was, to get ready for Raw, and then come in. And you could have seen this match, and these two guys are really working at a well-paced, time, and you could have gotten straight into this match and be like, all right, let's go. And like Chase said, Montez Ford just looks like he's in a really great shape right now. And he's just ready to go.
And he's gonna get the Shawn Michaels push.
Yeah.
I can see the Marty Jannetty going through the glass wall in glass barbershop window coming soon, man.
Yeah, he might be the one getting pushed in the future. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no. There's future champion written all over Montez Ford. Future champion all over him. He's getting built up like McMahon likes his grand champions to be big, larger than life persona. And I think when Montez Ford. And McMahon is a huge fan of Ford as well as Bianca Belair. They're a husband and wife team, and they're right now in McMahon's favor and grace and creative writing team. So we know
like Vince always says, you don't pay to see your next door neighbor. You come to pay to see larger than life characters.
Indeed. Yeah. So then we come back from a commercial break. We have an interview segment. Kevin Patrick has an interview segment, tries to sit down and talk to Seth Rollins to clarify his actions on Cody Rhodes a week ago, blaming him for his rivalry, what has driven them to go crazy against the American Nightmare, to have his clarification. What's your thought on that Seth Rollins, whatever Seth Rollins does, man, he to me, he does the perfect heel, and his promos impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to describe this except for you can argue that Seth Rollins right now is doing the best work of his career. He is absolutely outstanding right now. I mean, you can even, I wouldn't argue with anyone if they wanted to make the case that he should arguably be the one to take the titles off of Roman Reigns, considering how great of a job he's doing. Because I mean, he's just amazing. He's on his A game right now. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. He's just freaking amazing, so to speak. I mean, and the promo was again good. It was a really good promo.
And while we did that promo, we found out there's a qualifying match later on this evening between Seth freaking Rollins and the phenomenal AJ Styles. Whoa. I was like, wait a minute. This is not a pay-per-view. This is not a WrestleMania. This is not a King of the Ring. This is not a 5 major pay-per-view. And we're getting SummerSlam, and we're getting a great matchup. I could say fantasy booking dream matchup with WWE. Although we did see them fight for a spot in WrestleMania, but it was we didn't have a clear-cut winner. It was a little we got to see it again. And I was like, you know what? I want to see that again. Both these gentlemen wrestle well. I'm tired of seeing AJ taking always punked up by Judgment Day. Take a break from that for now. You know, Cody's not around for Seth right now to get into that pro. All right, let's see what these guys did. Even if it's one night of a match for a qualifier, I'm invested. I'm in on it. So we see him interrupting the promo and AJ Styles and knocks him Seth right in the mouth and said that was for Cody. What was your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, and you know what? That's sort of been my big problem with Raw, especially as of late, is that sometimes they get too much into the story to the point where like it's almost like you're just like, all right, can we take a little bit of a break from the story and get something else? You know what I mean? And then finally, when you get something fresh like this, like a qualifier match, especially considering how good it was, you're just instantly like, finally something my teeth into, you know, like a nice juicy steak or something like that, and you're just like, it's so investing, you're so into it, it's so refreshing and nice, and you're just like, let's go, I'm all in, I'm all in, and it was so good, and I liked it. It arguably, you can make the case, I can say, you know, I'll just say it invented Raw.
I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. To me, that was the main event, but we have to wait because that was just a teaser. It just gave us a little bit of a tease. You know, it's like when you know, have a taste. You know, it's not ready yet, but here's a little sample, and you're like, you know, when you're doing Thanksgiving dinner and you're waiting for that freaking turkey to be made, and the giblets are made, and the neck and all the giblets, and you could just have a little sample of the turkey neck because the turkey ain't ready there, and you just give you a little bit of that little seed to tasting, but we have a 24/7 match instead. Ahead of it, Becky Lynch taking on the champion Dana Brooks. I was like, whoa, 24/7 match. They're gonna put Becky Lynch in this. You know, last week we saw that match, and we saw through the help of Asuka, Becky Lynch took the loss. Dana Brooks got a big victory in her career, and I don't know if they're trying to make relevance to the 24/7 belt or what. Before we saw the outcome, I was like, okay, is this going to be an intergender title, which already is, but you know, now is Becky Lynch going to get a run on that? Because remember, everyone, the storyline with Becky Lynch is she's down on her luck. She's at the borderline of going cuckoo. You know, there's so many obstacles ahead of her. She wants to be a Back in the Glory, win the women's title, you know, and she's even changed her clothing, her hair. Sometimes she just got up from bed and just crawled in to wrestle. That's her character gimmick. And she's playing that role as well as perfect as possible. And what's your thoughts before we break down that match?
Her character is really like, ironically, same thing as Seth Rollins, her husband. You can argue she's doing the best work of her career right now. And again, I just love this whole entire thing. And I think Dana was just put in there to help her get over. And Dana did her job. And you know, and honestly, I think the 24/7 thing, they should do a new role where suddenly all that should just be defended every something like that. I think that would really help the title. Because, like, again, we talked about it for weeks. It's kind of like run its course. So I think a little bit of change with the title would help it a lot. But yeah, Becky right now is doing her most phenomenal work, arguably of her career. And I agree with Chase on the last set of AJ. It did make the Money in the Bank feel more important.
It did. Mm-hmm. And we saw that before the match started. We saw Becky Lynch just brutally attacked the title holder. She was beating the crap out of her around the ring, and she got on the microphone and said, "I really don't care about this title. I'm just gonna give you a beatdown." And of course, the match was interrupted by none other than the Empress of Tomorrow. Asuka came out, and these ladies, boom, collision course. I love the feud. You could tell there's some genuine dislike, at least in the storyline aspect. These ladies cannot stand each other, and that's the heat that we're getting from this feud. And that's what you want when you want a classic rivalry feud. And you want two rivals, male, female, at least, that they cannot stand each other, and they want to go to move heaven and earth to just go at it, and that's the vibe I got from Asuka and Becky, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, and again, kayfabe never truly dies, and you know why? Because you never see these two women. Now, granted, I don't get on Instagram and other apps like that too much, but I never seen a picture of these two women really together, at least recently. So it really does make it more convincing that these two women really do hate each other. So when you see Asuka and Becky just going at each other's throats right now, it really helps the story. And on top of that, knowing that nothing, at least recently, maybe in the past, obviously if you look hard enough, there's something out there of them taking pictures after the performance and everything like that. But right now, as of recently, there's no picture of them that I know of, and it really does help the feed a lot, especially this day and age. And it's so fantastic to watch.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's ask MK on this Becky Lynch situation, her character Cuckoo Becky. We're gonna give Chase Oliver that credit on that. Cuckoo Becky, her role and her feud with Asuka, is it extending your expectation, MK?
Well, first off, her character, I'm actually liking this version of Becky Lynch right now. You know, I prefer crazy, obsessed, lunatic Becky Lynch as a heel more than trying to be a ripoff of Conor McGregor Becky Lynch. You know, I feel like this is a little bit more natural to her, right? Than doing the whole like I'm trying to be like a tough girl kind of thing. The feud with Asuka, I mean, it's going okay so far. And I like the fact that this is a feud that doesn't have to do with the championship. This is a personal feud between the two, which I feel like that's something that was lacking for a while when it came to the women's division in WWE, where there's not enough non-title feuds, and I think this is one of them, featuring two of the more decorated people, women on the roster. You know, they're doing some good stuff right now, you know. But overall, yeah, I mean, from the segment on last night with the promo and everything, I thought it was pretty good.
Right, and then we find out moments after that they will be facing each other next Monday night on Raw. Women qualifier for the Money in the Bank. Again, like Chase said, it shows important to the Money in the Bank qualifier, and of course we saw that with AJ and Seth Rollins earlier. It gave it feeling. It gives it a good importance to it, and we're gonna get that Monday night. You know, for both ladies. You know, I would love to see both ladies in the Money in the Bank, but I can see where WWE is going with that. But we'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm having fun with this feud, and of course, I had so much fun with it, and I enjoyed it. Then, speaking about women's qualifier, and a weird one though, this one I found weird. We had a tag team for both ladies to get in, and you had Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan versus Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H. I know the WWE has already a tag team called Pretty Deadly in NXT, and they're phenomenal, and they will be coming to SmackDown pretty soon. But boy, I wish they would have held on and used the name Pretty Deadly for Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. Would have been a phenomenal tag team. But they already got in NXT. And overall, did you agree with that tag team type of move? Psst. I got a little echo coming back. Heel?
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? Samra was echoing, and I was.
No, that's an echo. Yeah, let's get the echo. I'm saying, do you like if the aspect of the tag team, if both ladies win, both ladies get in the Money in the Bank, or usually I would have liked the one-on-one, but maybe because of time restriction. And I do think Liv and Bliss will be the next women tag team champion.
You could do something like that, and it kind of would make it interesting. And and sometimes I do miss stuff like Samurai. Can you mute yourself?
I did.
Okay, so sometimes you can do something like that, and it would be a thing. I guess it depends on the day you ask me. On this Raw, I kind of would have been for it. I was kind of in that mood, but on other days, I'm not really for it. It just depends on the day you get me, like which Monday. So yeah, so on this type of day, I was kind of for it. So yeah, I would have been fine with that.
MK, what's your thoughts on this tag team? This, I know it looks pretty good on paper. I like their chemistry. Of course, we saw the victory between Liv and Alexa Bliss, and they look like they're naturally tag team women, ready to go. Like Chase said, look like the next women tag team champions if they bring the titles back. What's your thoughts on their in-ring performance?
I thought it was okay. I thought they did pretty solid stuff. There's potential there, especially as a babyface, scrappy underdog kind of a team. And obviously, all the guys are gonna like this. You know, this is a dream team for a lot of people. You know, um, so
For
yeah.
me.
I mean, there's potential there, but to be honest with you, there's really nothing they can do with these tag team titles situation. Like I'm kind of at a point where they should just like disband the championship altogether. But that's just me. But I thought them as a tag team was okay. There's potential there. So yeah.
All right, let's bring in Samurai. Hopefully his audio is good. Hey, Samurai, what's your thoughts on the? Let's want to get on the action here with Liv Morgan as a tag team with Bliss, and what was your thoughts on that match?
I mean, it was a good match. I mean, I liked it. I feel like I agree with both MK and Heel. They have good chemistry together, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't know where they're going, like with the tag team situation. That's another thing that I heard came in on. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, right now nothing's going on with the women tag team yet. But all in all, we all know what's going to happen with the women's tag team title. It's going to be Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan taking on my favorite, Toxic Attraction. Plain and simple. The NXT tag team champions, they'll come in and they're going to dominate on Raw. Plain and simple.
I kind of see that too.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know when Toxic Attraction lose NXT titles, but unless they come up with them.
Well, we'll see. Now, what does this leave to Nikki A.S.H? Do she get rid of the superhero gig and become back to Nikki? Or it looks like they're setting up a feud with Doudrop and Nikki. Like Nikki's gonna snap, or Doudrop is gonna have enough of it. What's your thoughts on that before we move on from this? Deal? Oh yeah, go ahead, Samurai. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I'm a proponent of Nikki Cross. I wish they'd bring just like get rid of the whole superhero gimmick. It's run its course in my opinion.
I agree, and she's the one that said that. Go ahead, Gil.
For me, it really depends what she wants to do and what WWE wants to do, and at this point, I really don't know what you do with Nikki almost superhero. I really don't know because even as Nikki Cross, she can sometimes come across as really boring. Because let's be honest, the whole crazy girl gimmick has really ran its course, or as some people say, that's so early 2010s. Kind of leave that in the AJ Lee era, so to speak. And the Nikki almost superhero is kind of like more modern type of gimmick, so it fits more with this generation. So it's kind of like, do you find a way to mix the two gimmicks together almost, or do you just kind of like repackage her in general, or do you just release her because you kind of just don't know what to do with her at this point?
No, I don't think you release her because she's got the full autonomy on the superhero A.S.H. She's the one that picked it. That I read from the dirt sheet. It's not a WWE writing creative. She's part of it. They let her go with it. Remember, there's also merchandise. I'm pretty sure if her merchandise is so over and have so much involved, they're gonna probably keep that going, even if she wrestles whenever they need her. But they need tag team bodies. They need women's body. Although they're getting an influx of a lot of good women talent.
You know what I would do if I was booking this? I know some people might be like, what, really? But I would bring back the Hurricane, have her work with the Hurricane for a little bit, and then kind of like have the Hurricane, rub off a little bit of his fan interest, whatever, onto her, and then just have her do like her own hurricane thing in WWE for a while.
As your manager, Gregory Helms, or you? Because I don't think does he
No,
really
no,
have
no,
enough as a
no.
competitor.
No, yeah, they don't have to be competitors. They can
Okay.
just do like funny skits,
Yeah.
wrestle every now and again. And, like, for example, Alexa Bliss is already viewed almost like as a Harley Quinn type of character. Why not just have like, let's say they did like intergender tag team match. You can have the Hurricane theme music hit, and then it's Nikki A.S.H. and the Hurricane on top of the rope, and then they just fly on and kick them.
Oh my
like
God!
that.
I could hear the freaking other programs like Wrestling Inc., Wrestling Talk. They already talk negative about WWE. If they were to do that, I think they will explode of anger. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
and that kills me.
Love it.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Those kind of shows like Wrestling Inc. and Wrestle Talk and the other jabronis that are doing their program podcast. I know we're just starters, and that's why we're the heel of the ring. Remember, wrestling is made for a young audience. If you're a 45-year-old, 54-year-old ham that are covering wrestling like Wrestle Talk, that smells like they haven't washed their clothes in days, and you're getting mad about WWE and the purpose of wrestling, there's something wrong with you, bro. Because wrestling is meant for young kids. Remember when we were all kids, we were captivated with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant,
Oh yeah.
the Paul Orndorff, that storyline. Oh, it got us there. And if you're out there and on podcasts and talking about how WWE is such a boring show, no storyline, it's not for you. Go get a life, get a wife, go have coitus, and go watch wrestling and leave the wrestling for the kids.
Yeah, for our generation, it was John Cena,
Oh my God. MK, what's your thoughts on Nikki A.S.H. before we move on? I had a rant.
You mean Nikki A.S.H?
Nikki A.S.H.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of the character, but it doesn't make me want me to complain about her every single week. So it's like I'm not really a fan of it, but not enough for me to rant and complain on Twitter. So that's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? I like cheesy characters as much as the next guy, but Nikki A.S.H. is not really for me. But that's okay, because in wrestling you can always like and dislike what you want. It's for everyone. So.
What? You don't like Nikki Almost Superhero? What's up with that?
Remember, they're catering also to young girls that want to watch wrestling. And that's probably a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old dressed up as a superhero and wants to be a wrestling superhero.
And that's okay, because I feel like people have this weird thing where it's like wrestling should just be only for one set of people.
It's not.
It's like no, it's like just because it's like for so long people didn't like John Cena because he was too kid friendly. I'm like, well, okay, but that's not for him. It's not for you. You may like this person. You may not. You may like that person. It's for everyone. It's like it's not meant to just be only for you. It's like you like what you like. You dislike what you dislike, and just enjoy for what it is, and just move on, I guess.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
If you're an adult and you hated John Cena, there was Randy Orton.
Yeah, basically.
You had the Fiend. If you were an adult, you had the Fiend. Go like that character. Go like that horror character, that horror angle. It wasn't not meant for children. And you had the Fiend. We gave you something. Now leave the kids with John Cena, the hustle, loyalty, respect. Leave it there. There's a little bit of everything. Nikki A.S.H. is for little girls who want to be superhero inspired. They see themselves, they might see themselves the same stature as the young lady, short, stocky, some ladies, let's face it, and we'll see where you identify. Like John Silver. Look at Heel. He identifies with John Silver.
Yeah. Hey, I would love to have fish and, fries with Long John Silver. I already been to his restaurant. It's delicious. You should try it.
Absolutely. So let's move on to the next one. And one of the biggest ones, it's like, whoa, as I try to power through with my voice here. You had Ezekiel taking on Kevin Owens. We all know that Ezekiel lied, said he was Elias to Kevin Owens, a liar. They set up this match. The feud still continues. Now, just when people say WWE don't do long-term bookings, they drag off, when everyone thought it runs its course, it has not. Between these two guys, I got to give them props to both of them to keep us captivated as an audience. And I say, oh God, again, because at beginning, I'll be totally honest. At the beginning, when I saw the match, I was like, damn, again, guys. Oh, these guys are gonna have a field day. But at the end of the match and the end of the outcome, it got us intrigued. Heel, you want to start off with that? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, when this first started, I was like, okay, we're just gonna get another Ezekiel thing, you know, it's whatever, right? And then at the end of the promo, when Ezekiel was like, you know what, and Elias is gonna be here next week on Raw, and I was like, oh man, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a weird wrestling fan. Sometimes it's the cheesy things that really get me pumped up. Like, I'm the type of guy to mark out for the Hurricane when he comes out for the Royal Rumble, okay? Or Kanfunaki or something like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty as charged. Like, I like the serious stuff too, but sometimes it's just the cheesy stuff that get me like really hyped up.
At the end of the day, it's meant for everyone. So,
yeah.
you know.
So when he's like, Elias is coming to Raw next week, and I'm like, let's go. I'm like, I can't wait to say this. And I know it's gonna be that. It's probably not gonna look that good. It's probably gonna be something like really cheesy. But that's what got me really excited. I'm like, Kevin Owens, now you gotta explain that, bro. Or Smooch, or whatever it is. Yeah.
And of course, we saw that Ezekiel won by the Kevin Owens on the ring on the announce team, panting like a child, and got counted out. Let me go to Samurai. Samurai, what's your thoughts on that whole gimmick, that whole promo? Are you excited on seeing Elias coming in and we'll go around after your thoughts and think who you think might be that Elias, or would it be our thoughts first? But first, let me hear from you.
Well, I'm happy to see Elias back on TV, I guess. Even though we know who he really is, I just wonder how they're gonna do it. Like, how they're gonna have both Elias and Ezekiel on TV. I mean, they're gonna do like a weird, like have him like wear a fake beard, and then have, you know, I don't know, like do some movie type stuff and like have it like that. I just wonder how that's gonna happen.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, MK, on that? What's your thoughts on, you know, possibilities of Elias and Ezekiel? One of the best gimmicks right now, and everybody just stepped in it.
First off, this is going to be the greatest event, the greatest union reuniting event since DX reforming in 2006. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. This is gonna get our biggest pop ever, man. For all you people out there who is doubting that Ezekiel was Elias, I want y'all to just be quiet for a second. You know,
Exactly. Preach.
just be quiet. Ezekiel is gonna, Elias is gonna come out on Monday, and he's gonna bring out his other brother, Emmanuel. He's gonna bring out his other brother, Elijah. It's gonna be a whole ass family, you know. And guess what? Kevin Owens has to eat crow, and everybody else who disbelieved Ezekiel has to eat crow. And I'll be on here next week, just laughing at everybody else's faces.
Yeah.
I am hyped for this.
I want them to have like a Drake and Josh moment where at the end when they beat
Hug me, brother!
Yeah.
Remember, this is the same wrestling organization that gave you Razor Ramon and Diesel, while Kevin Nash and Scott Hall was on WCW.
But those were the real ones. Even they were real back then.
It don't matter. That was Diesel.
Yeah.
They told you. Jim Ross said he was going to give you Diesel and Razor Ramon.
Dude,
he didn't tell you they were going to give you Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They gave you Diesel and Razor Ramon. WCW gave you Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. I know you guys were probably in the bottle drinking, you know, having a little bottle, sucking your thumbs, but I saw that.
Well, here's the thing. Just to end off here, you know, it reminds me a little bit when, remember, they brought in the Kane versus Kane storyline in like 2006.
Yep.
You know, this was like
the two Undertakers.
Yeah, the two Undertakers is gonna be great. You know, I'm just waiting for, you know, I'm gonna make a bold prediction before we give it to Heel over there. Elias and Ezekiel, next undisputed tag team champions. It's gonna be the greatest moment of all time in tag team history. You know, watch. I'm just putting it out there. So,
WCW too, but it was with my uncle when I was very young, obviously.
You don't
So,
remember that.
I don't really not at least not
It's okay.
Not
It's okay.
yeah.
Any thoughts on who you think it might be though? Seriously, is it going to be CGI hologram
I know.
or
Yeah, it's gonna be
a wrestler?
it's gonna be a hologram, and you're gonna see Elias's tombstone right on the stage, and then you're just gonna see a soul. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna be that morbid on TV.
I know. What
I
are you doing? Gonna
think
be Undertaker?
I think it's just gonna be Ezekiel with the fake beard, you know, and then he'll say like, "Oh, Ezekiel couldn't make it, so I'm Elias," you know, that sort of thing. I was like, "No, you're lying."
No,
That sort
I know
of
what
thing.
they're gonna do. Okay.
What?
They're gonna bring the real Elias.
Okay, that's your pick. Samurai. So we can move it along. Who do you think is going to be that person?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say it's gonna be. Like I'm gonna go with MK and say it's gonna be he's gonna wear a fake beard because there's no way he can grow beard. He can grow his beard back in like a week. I mean, it's possible, but not really.
They'll probably give us Damian Sandoval, Mizdow. Remember that he was with the Miz with the scarf. I think everyone in the internet has been saying that. I think it'll be. I don't know if they'll bring him in particular back, but they'll bring someone that looks alike, maybe from the Indies or somewhere, just for give that opportunity. I think they'll have someone available. I think there will be a character because WWE has done that before. We've seen it with Diesel. We've seen it with Kane. We saw it with The Undertaker. We even saw it with Adam Bomb. If you remember back in the day, there was 2 Adam Bombs. So WWE has found similar type of wrestlers that will fit that gimmick and kind of look alike. And I think it might not look the same, but they might do something. It might, and I think they'll get us. They'll get us. I think they'll. I mean, we're gonna be like SOB. They brought someone out here that looks like it. We all know it's not that, but of course, part of the storyline, of course, for younger audience and for the entertainment factor, I think they're gonna come up with something innovative. Just my thought. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. One of the greatest squash in Raw history here. MVP taking on Cedric Alexander. Although MVP wishes it was Chris Jericho, but we'll leave that for notes later down the road. So MK, since you burst out with the laugh, what was your thought of this delicious squash there?
Oh my God, MVP at age, I don't know, late 40s is out here kicking ass and taking names. I love to see it. You know what I mean? Let's bring back the old golden tunnel that he used to come out to. Have Omos come out with it too. Overall, nothing much to say about the match, but MVP and Omos looking strong. That's all that matters. I'm team MVP and Omos. I'm a big supporter of that whole act. Big supporter of both of them. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, all we needed was the "I'm coming." This old intro. I wish he would have came out with his own intro.
No, that's Veer. No, that's Veer's thing. He's coming. All right.
Let me ask Samurai, the match, all that, but you saw an indication from MVP to tell Osmos to took a look at the Money in the Bank, kind of hinting that he's pushing him towards Money in the Bank in the ladder match for a shot at the briefcase. Do you think he's ready to fight in that at Money in the Bank? Would you like to see that?
No, just no. He's not ready yet.
Same question. Yeah, go ahead. Finish up, and then we'll send it to you.
He needs a lot more seasoning in order to, be ready for the Money in the Bank. I mean, he might botch just getting in the ring.
What about you? What about you, Heel? What are your thoughts of? No. We're talking about the big guy, Osmos, indicating being in the Money in the Bank. He didn't say officially, but MVP kind of let you concentrate on being in the Money in the Bank kind of deal.
It's really intriguing because I think he can do some really dangerous stunts in that Money in the Bank. But I just think of a nasty powerbomb he can do off the ladder or something like that. He doesn't have to win it, but he can be that big guy just makes you go, wow, he really destroyed this person. just by doing like simple power bombs or choke slams, whatever have you. Like and it would be an easy way to script the other person that or whoever's supposed to win it. You know what I mean? And especially if Omos and the winner is the final two, I think it will tell like an incredible story. Um,
Mhm.
so you know what? I'm gonna go with the unpopular opinion and say I'm actually kind of for it.
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
yeah. He doesn't have to win it, but he can pull some amazing stunts in the ladder match.
I'm with you on that for this reason
Yeah,
too. What when we do think about ladder matches in WrestleMania, hasn't I don't think he won one yet or won any of them in WrestleMania in the past. Sheldon Benjamin. Oh my God! Or you could think about how he got over in those ladder matches with all the high, of course, different type of style of wrestler, high flyer with a lot of agility and so forth. But Osmos and he gets in there and causes havoc, even though he don't win. And like you said, power bomb with the ladder, doing things, getting coming out of last minute, knocking two
yeah.
ladders off,
Squeaking,
with the pot with
yeah,
his strength, doing all that. He could get over and become, even not winning, become a vicious monster. And of course, he couldn't climb the ladder. He's too big, that kind of angle. Or it'll get him a good experience to work with others and in that kind of atmosphere. In my opinion, I think it could work. I think with the because he's going to be there with top guys around him. I think they can help him get over, get carried him over, and sell his moves more. And I think all of that is going to give him the confidence that he kind of needs to go forward, because he did spend some time in NXT, down there, and I just don't know what's gone here translating in the big roster with Osmos. Anybody else want to say anything on this before we move on with that?
I'll say one thing when
Sure.
in regards to the you mentioned about Omos potentially being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I actually agree with both of y'all, Heel and Kev. I think a Money in the Bank ladder match, to me, the best kind are the ones that have multiple people with different styles, right? Like to me, I always like it when you have a couple of high flyers, a couple of technical guys, a couple of like sneaky heels, and maybe like one or two powerhouses. And Omos can fit that bill, where again, much like he said, he can tell that story of, can he actually climb up to the ladder and reach the briefcase because of his height, or does he need a special kind of ladder like how they did with Big Show back in the day, or what? And this is also an opportunity for him to just go, just be like menacing and just be dominant, because we haven't seen much of Omos being dominant since like when he first started teaming up with AJ, and I think this would be a great opportunity for him to just collect some bodies and whatnot, and I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think this is where people would actually win. He would probably win some people over with that too.
yeah. Before we move on,
Yes.
it will tell an incredible story, because imagine if he does climb the ladder and he's about to win it, and they put Cedric in there, because Cedric's also obviously a high flyer. Imagine if he's just inches about to get it, and Cedric just he does a springboard off the top rope and he hits him off the ladder. Imagine that moment right there. That would make people go insane.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the story you can tell if he gets in the ladder match with actually Money in the Bank would be insane.
Even him up in the ladder, someone spears him from the top of
Yeah.
the ladder. My God,
Yeah.
and it's so much phenomenal moves there. We'll wonder if he gets on there. So we'll move on to the next one, which I thought was the best match of the night. One of the best matches of the night, of course, was the Money in the Bank qualifier, because before with the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, second time they fought. We saw them wrestled back in February against Seth freaking Rollins. I was intrigued with this match. Of course, the 9 o'clock hour. Let me go with Samurai first. Samurai, this match, the stipulation, it made it seem in points for the Money in the Bank qualifier. Give me your thoughts on that match.
You mean the match between
AJ Styles and Seth Rollins?
Yeah. Okay, I mean, it was actually a really good, a great match. I mean, I love the way they work together. They've got the chemistry, and they've got everything you want. I was actually kind of pulling for AJ Styles, honestly. I mean, I don't think he's ever been in Money in the Bank. or has he?
No,
I don't know. But
no. That's a.
I think he has actually.
They mentioned it on the
Um,
broadcast. He hasn't.
he hasn't won one, but he has been in one. But anyway.
yeah. That's what I was going for. But yeah, I really wanted him to actually win because I wanted to see him if he would how far he could actually go in the match. You know.
Let me ask you this, MK.
Yeah.
With AJ Styles, apparently sold us on that knee injury that he suffered or part of the storyline. Did you like that angle? And you thought it was just a way of letting us know or leading us that we knew that he wasn't going to get the victory on Seth Rollins this evening?
I guess that was kind of a way to somewhat protect AJ a little bit without having a real definitive a clean win from Seth. Which surprisingly enough, this is actually the first win that Seth Rollins has had on TV in like nearly 4 months, which is kind of crazy. We have to go all the way back till like late February for it, which is kind of insane for a main event level guy. I thought it was fine for what it was. The match was really good. Seth winning was cool. I would have wanted both guys to be in it, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. But the whole knee thing, I thought that was okay for what it was.
Right.
You know what's gonna happen here is they're gonna do like they're gonna do like they do every year and do a last chance qualifying triple threat or fatal 4-way at the last.
But I believe there was more spots available. There was more like 4 more spots. Remember, they got to put in some SmackDown guys as well.
Yeah,
that's possible. That's possible. They could do that. If let's say like if they do like a 4-way or even a battle royal, so to speak, you never know. Just to add one more top name in there, I don't know. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, let me ask your thoughts on the whole match and where it was booked on the whole event on Raw. What was your opinion and your thoughts on that?
Well, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I gave my thoughts earlier, but I'll say it again. I really liked the match. I think it was really good. I know off air we disagreed on how great it was. I still thought it was a really good match. Yeah, I just really liked it.
Yeah.
I said everything I had to say earlier in the stream. So yeah, I'll just keep it like that. I really like it.
All right, so yeah, if those that came in late, you have to tune in a little earlier to hear Eo's point. He is too sexy to repeat his words. Too sexy, yeah.
All right, keep it in your pants, my guy.
Now, my opinion on this whole weather book card and all, it made the importance to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. As everyone says, you know what, WWE, they don't give us a good winner. They give too many countouts, too many disqualifications, not a definitive winner. At least we have winners in AEW, all the tribal back and forth between both federations, organizations. I thought that WWE is moving away from giving us some good matches on either Raw and SmackDown with title changes and important matches, not just some premium events on live television. I think they're moving in a different aspect, and we'll mention that. Matter of fact, we could mention it out, because after this, Raw kind of dips down a little bit, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm thinking the main event, get good quality matches. We saw on SmackDown they're pushing a lot of numbers to SmackDown, a lot of eyeballs to SmackDown. We saw the unification of the tag team titles on SmackDown. I'm going to give you a hot take. I think Riddle wins the Universal title on Friday night. I don't think Roman Reigns retains the belts. I think they're finally going to stop because Roman Reigns' work schedule is going to be very lessened. I think it's going to be Riddle's time to win this title because with that stipulation, he'll never wrestle for the title again as Reigns was champion. Riddle's over right now. Unless if Randy Orton comes out, I know I'm saying a lot, unless Randy Orton comes out and causes him an ultimate heel turn, because let's face it, Riddle's got his nose way up Randy Orton's ass. I mean, my God, that is brown nose. But what's your thoughts on that, or am I going off the rails? Reel me in if I'm off the rails. If I'm not.
I'll just go first. I think there's a slight chance he wins it, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really think he does. I don't have that much confidence in him winning. Because like the way I see it is, if you're gonna build up Roman like this long, like I get the unified titles, like that's me, especially for really trying to get eyeballs. But we're talking about like, the world, unified world heavyweight titles here. Like this is your prized possession in your company. I don't know, and I don't know why you would drop them on a SmackDown, especially with Money in the Bank coming up, SummerSlam, and then even in at least recently. So SmackDown to me just doesn't make that much sense. And on top of that, the stipulation was just as long as Roman is champion. So Riddle can still fight for the world titles again. It was just going to take some time, obviously. So I think there's more. There's still going to be a good chance. To me, what I meant to say is there's a better chance of Randy Orton coming out and turning heel on Riddle than there is a Riddle actually winning the unified tag team. Tag team.
Oh, I did the same thing.
Yeah,
I did the same thing earlier.
Yeah. So. I just think Roman's gonna retain, and he's gonna go on, and then Riddle's probably gonna be frustrated. But what I will say, what makes this more interesting is maybe one of the Usos interferes, and then maybe this sets up a Riddle, Randy, makes storyline more interesting between him and Randy. Like who's gonna turn on who first?
Okay, I got another name to think about. Let's kick it around to Samurai. Samurai, what's your thoughts on the whole situation with possibly Riddle winning the world title, unification, and all that? What we just conversated right now.
Well, I mean, honestly, I agree with everything that Heel says, but at the same time, I don't know about Riddle not winning it because I want Riddle to at least have a championship. I mean, he deserves something for his hard work. He's a good body to have around. If that makes sense. I feel like yes, one of the Usos there could be a screwy finish. He could win unclean, dirty, so to speak. I just don't know how they go about it. I can't see them doing real dirty like that.
They're not gonna do Riddle real dirty like that, man.
I'm gonna throw. Let's get MK on this conversation, his thoughts, and then we'll go one more time, and then I got another thought that popped in, and then we'll go round robin, and we'll continue with the Raw wrap up. MK, give me your thoughts.
There's a lot to say about this. And if I go on a little bit of a rant, you guys are warned.
Oh my god, MK rant! I'm so scared.
No, first I don't think Riddle's gonna win the championship. I think this is going to be a setup for the eventual Roman Reigns Randy Orton match, possibly at SummerSlam, so to speak. But I think this is a good opportunity for Riddle to at least get a world championship match. That's cool, but I'm kind of confused why they're doing this on SmackDown and they are instead of doing it, let's say, on Raw or even at Money in the Bank. But that's just me. But whatever. My big issue is I felt like they've totally butchered this Roman Reigns undisputed world championship run that he's going on right now. And this is no slight on the character himself. I'm a big Roman Reigns fan, but I've been super against this idea of them unifying the belts, even going back to when we were talking about WrestleMania a few months ago. Like, I don't like this idea of them unifying the belts, and he's now on vacation right now, taking time off, which is well earned, by the way. But if he was going to take a time off, why put two belts on him? To me, it just doesn't really make much sense. and now he's potentially not going to be at Money in the Bank. And I'm like, well, what's the point of putting 2 belts on him if he's not going to be on the show, you know, or at least on pay-per-view, you know? And it's just, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't really, this whole undisputed title thing, I just wish they de-unify these belts soon, honestly. I know some people like having 1 world championship, but I'm a fan of having 2 world titles in the context of a brand extension. And I think Raw needs a world title because they have so much talent on there. SmackDown needs a world champion. Yeah, it's just I think the overall match between Riddle and Reigns is going to be a lot of fun. I think it can even be a match of the year candidate. Just not really a fan of this Roman undisputed title. And this, to be honest with you, this is his lowest point since turning heel, honestly, in my opinion. And it's just not very good right now. I don't know. So yeah.
All right. One thing, I think the reason why they're doing it on Fox, remember, the TV deal is coming up for the WWE. They want to show that they could draw ratings even in the summertime, with the NBA playoffs going on, with the NHL playoffs going on, with the championship of course May. They took it a little bit on the chin, but they want to get strong for the summertime when kids are out of school. Let's face it, Fox is a free affiliate for anyone. And remember, not just kids that are at home, kids are off from school. They could stay and watch Raw and SmackDown, longer. Also, people that are in the hospitals and so forth, they get that over the air. Fox with their TVs in different locations, they get the viewership. Oh, Raw is on, SmackDown is on, and if you're not, not every hospitals have Raw. USA Network, they do have Fox, so you get more eyeballs. It's about eyeballs, and I don't know why hospitals came in my head. I don't know why. Because if you're in a hospital ward waiting to be seen with a little child has a fever, they have the TV on, they put SmackDown. You get a whole bunch of people entertained, especially if you live in the big city where you're going to spend hours in the ER. You have that there. I don't know why I brought that angle, but just came with me out there. Fox is more accessible. You put these big time matches. You gave us the unified title, Riddle, Roman Reigns. I think I'm going 50-50 that the title might be changed, but I also think if it's not changed, I think look for Sami Zayn to interfere, and that's Riddle and Zayn. I think that feud will be chef kiss because those two are good wrestlers, good mic talkers, and good promo workers.
I just find it funny, just to make one last point, that last week on SmackDown they were saying like, oh, it's Matt Riddle versus Sami Zayn. If Riddle loses, he'll be banned from SmackDown. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you on Raw in the first place? You're not supposed to be here in the first place.
And that match was good. That was a good match.
It was a good match, but I just laughed at the stipulation. Like, bro, you're not even supposed to be here.
or let's say they get a double. We haven't seen it in a long time in WWE. In a long time was the double pin, right? When both opponents' shoulders on the mat, and both gets the equal pin. Usually a draw, but let's say they do a draw where it's going to send both wrestlers get a title, a stake of the title, and you unify the belts. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box.
I didn't think of that idea. That's not a bad idea. But I also think, just to end off here, I think they're saving for Roman to lose the belt to Drew. That's another thing as well, which I'm cool with. Yeah. But I don't. But we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah.
That's what Chase pointed out. He said
that's highlighted.
Yeah. Riddle being champion for the summer, and he wouldn't be a good champ for the Euro show. You building the to Drew at Clash of the Castle, which would make a lot of sense. Which in my opinion, I think Drew might win the Money in the Bank, considering that's coming up.
No, he's got a title. No, I don't think he's going to win the Money in the Bank. I think Drew is not going to win the Clash of the Champions. Remember, you don't win in your hometown, and you don't win on your birthday when you're in the WWE.
Well, I mean, here's why I say I see that happening. Since that's after Money in the Bank, who's to say he doesn't win it, and then someone cashes in on him?
That is true.
What?
That could happen. That could happen.
Yeah, I think Seth freaking Rollins wins the Money in the Bank.
I think that could be a perfect way for them to deunify the belts. That could be a way too. But then again, Drew's not from Wales, so technically he could still win. It's not his hometown.
That's
Quote
true. That's true.
Yeah.
But
You know?
let me ask you this. Let me ask a question. We'll ask Samurai and we'll run around. In Money in the Bank, do you have a shot? Do you cash it in for one? Or do you allow to cash it for unified belts? That's another stipulation that we didn't know. What's your thoughts, Samurai?
That's actually a good question. Like, how are they gonna do that? Because if they have the if it's unified, they have to. It's really just weird. Like, do you cash for both or one? How are they gonna do it?
Yeah.
Anybody have an answer for that? No.
Let me ask you. Let's throw the heel quick, and then we'll go to MK.
Well, I think they're gonna highlight that on commentary on one of these weeks, or at least at Money in the Bank, that if you win it, you can cash in probably either for the Unified or one of the titles. I think it's gonna be highlighted and explained on one week of the shows or at Money in the Bank. I think you're gonna be able to cash in for the Unified titles. If I'm gonna be honest, because there's not too Money in the Banks. It's not. Unless they plan on doing a SmackDown and then a Raw Money in the Bank like they used to do, then yeah, you're obviously gonna be able to cash in one at a time. So far, I only see Uno, so that means you're gonna be able to cash in on the Unified Money in the
I got a
Bank.
rebuttal to that question, but let's get MK's thoughts first.
All right.
That is a good question. That I can see them WWE doing this, where for now they're gonna say, oh, it's gonna be an opportunity for a shot at the unified title until, let's say, a heel wins the briefcase. Let's say Seth Rollins, for example, and he only gets the WWE title, and then he comes out next night saying, yeah, I changed the stipulations on the contract or something like that. You know what I mean? So I only wanted this belt. I wanted to take this title back to Raw.
That'd be a lot of work, though. Imagine Seth on the his laptop or whatever, and this is office.
I mean, he is a trick. I mean, he is
the architect.
Yep, he is the architect, my guy. I mean, that's his character, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's the rebuttal I had. How many Money in the Bank women matches are there?
I believe only one.
All right, so they're not a unified woman champion. Let's say Raquel Rodriguez wins it, does she have the right to win to go after the Raw women's cash in the women's or the SmackDown? No,
she can go for either.
But there's two now. So what makes you think they can do that with the men? There's only one men, you know.
But there's technically only one title. It's like two titles and mashed into one.
But this is wrestling, and you could see an angle where they could kind of separate it because of Money in the Bank. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, they could. That's what I'm saying. Like they can always do that. At the end of the day, if let's say the contract just says you cash in for a world title, it doesn't necessarily mean unified. Or separated.
Okay,
it could just be either one. So
I think they'll clear that up eventually. We'll find out more.
Yeah, it is interesting. So we'll move on back to the Raw after we deviate a little there. We had a match. We had Riddle taking on Ciampa. This match, everyone's saying, what the hell are they doing with Ciampa? Are they burying him? Are they not using him? He just got here. Maybe a month. Let's pump our brakes before we thinking WWE is going to ruin Ciampa. He's got to take his lumps. Right now, he's serving a purpose. He will be fine. He'll be fine. He's telling a story. All in all, what's your thought, Ciampa and Riddle, the match itself?
It was really a good match. Yeah, I do wish Ciampa would do something bigger because, as we saw in NXT, he did phenomenal. I mean, yeah. So I don't blame people that are frustrated with him because it's like. For example, as most of us in here are baseball fans, it's like seeing that guy that was a stud in AAA, and then the manager's like, "Nope, you're on the bench," kind of sort of thing. And so I understand your frustration, fans. I really do. But you got to understand, it takes time. It's gonna take a few ABs before you get in the starting lineup per se. So let him get in a few reps here and there. Let him get his feet wet first, and then he'll be pushed into a major storyline. Let him take his time first.
I agree. MK, your thoughts on the match and Ciampa, and your thoughts on the way they're using Tomás Ciampa?
First off, the match was just it was just a decent match for what it was. Just another way to build up Riddle. As far as Ciampa is concerned, I was thinking about this just now. It's like I realized ever since he made his official debut on Raw, do you notice that every single segment or match he's in, he's somehow linked with the Miz? You know, now I don't know if the idea is maybe Ciampa being like kind of like a like not a lackey for the Miz, but kind of like a hired. He's like a hired gun, so to speak. Like he's like a mercenary for Miz or something like that. Because remember he did that when he was feuding with Mustafa Ali a few weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Right. And then for the last like couple weeks, he's been attacking Riddle, and this is when Miz was doing those segments with Riddle. So I don't know if this is an idea that they're going with where, Ciampa's, and Miz is working together kind of thing, that sort of thing. That's just something I just thought of right then and there.
I would love that if that was revealed. Like the Miz is now. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. The Miz is working now with Ciampa, and Ciampa is trained to be like the Miz style, so to speak. He's wearing suits and glasses.
It don't fit his character, but I know what you mean there.
Yeah.
Samurai, you that seen a lot of Ciampa in NXT. You know, what's your thoughts? Are you frustrated, or do you see the light at the end of the tunnel or the big picture for Ciampa?
I do see the big picture. I mean, people they don't know what Ciampa's about because they don't watch. They probably have never watched NXT, but he's got this psycho killer kind of persona, and that's what he's doing. I mean, he I don't like the fact that he's losing, but I know what they're doing. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it to get people over. I mean, it didn't work with Mustafa Ali, but hey, it worked with Riddle. Because Riddle and Ciampa, they have. I think they have fought before in NXT, so they know what they've got the chemistry. So, there's that. I think that there's a bigger picture. People just don't see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Remember, Tommaso Ciampa, his last match on NXT, Triple H was there. Pretty much Triple H anointing, and it's one of Triple H's guys. So if you're Triple H, one of Triple H's guys, you're gonna get over eventually. But remember, Triple H took a lot of bumps when he first came in. Remember, he only had an 18-second match with the Ultimate Warrior in WrestleMania. Under 30 seconds. And look where Triple H is now. If you think about his career, he had a lot of squash matches. He got squashed, but at the end of the day, Triple H is considered to be one of the best. Top 6, much more. I know there's only 4 in Mount Rushmore, but he could be, top 6 wrestlers of all time. The way he all total package. I'm not saying Ciampa's going to be that, but he's got the right guidance and the right guys pulling for him, which is Triple H, and I think Ciampa's going to be okay.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, like I said, I know where they're going with it. So people just need to chill out and wait and see what happens. Like that's how I feel about. I mean, I saw somewhere that somebody said, I think it was Wrestle Talk or something. They said WWE is giving up on Ciampa. I'm like, no, they haven't.
God. They just anti WWE. I mean, my God.
Give up on what though? He's just here. So
he just got here. It's just got there, and he got to build his character up. And there's so much. So you could say in 3 months. So they could say themselves in 3 weeks or 3 months. Oh, we're kind of bored of Ciampa. He's always winning, and he gets over. They're the first ones. Oh, support. That's what talk.
To be honest with you, it's like, at the end of the day, the rule of thumb is you don't really believe what goes on when it comes to the wrestling news sites and whatnot. Just pay attention to what goes on television.
Marks. Yes.
Speaking of marks, excuse MK's little brother, whatever. He's just marking out to like old WWE clips.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. It's my brother's just screaming in the background. My apologies. I'm just gonna mute myself.
That's fine, MK. It wasn't bothering me, but it's fine.
Was it loud though, by any chance, or?
It was little, but it didn't bother. It's the joy of children. That's the joy of the podcast. Wrestling is for children.
He's enjoying wrestling.
In our wrestling talk. None of that. You know,
Yeah, he's enjoying
yes.
the wrestling. You know, get it in, man.
Well, I don't know if he was enjoying the wrestling. You know.
Yes,
Yeah,
don't.
Maybe he was enjoying Raw. I don't know if he was enjoying AEW. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna be tribalistic right now.
Wow,
Never mind.
that's extremely tribalistic. But
No,
we'll
I'm
move
not.
on.
No, I'm not gonna. See, I stopped myself.
We'll move on here. We had a promo. Bianca Belair comes in, gets her usual promo, you know, and all of a sudden we get interrupted with the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley comes out, cuts a promo. Hey, looky here. You know, you could tell it was a tape promo because, yeah, it was a tape promo, and of course, setting up their hype to the match. Are you excited for Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair meeting at Money in the Bank, Samurai? Yeah, I know you've seen them in NXT before.
Yeah. They. I mean, I feel like they're gonna bring something. To what? I don't know. They'll bring something.
Ice cream?
Probably. Probably. I mean, I like both of them, but that's only because I watched them in NXT, so I know what they're about. So I feel like they can and they will bring the fire and burn the house down, essentially. I mean, in a good way, not in a bad way.
I agree with you. MK, what's your thoughts on? Are you looking forward for these two ladies going at it? And the promo, I could have been okay with it. You know, it wasn't AEW-ish promo-ish, like, ugh, hurry up.
Look at my jacket.
You know, yeah, look at my jacket. Yeah, that kind.
I think the match could be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a good match between the two. The promo, I don't know. For some reason, them saying like, "Oh, they don't have no leader anymore, and we're just in it for ourselves." Why is this giving me like the Core vibes? For anyone who remembers the Core,
I
like,
do.
Back, you know what I mean? Remember that whole thing where it's like we're not a leader, we're all leaders kind of thing. And I'm like, wait a damn minute. The last stable that said that like literally got disbanded in like 4 months, so not a good sign.
All right,
I mean, it's only 1 week with Finn Balor in the group, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I don't know. I think the match will be good.
And your heel?
Rhea Ripley's promo, I guess, was all right. But as for Bianca Belair, she's a great in-ring performer. But man, on the promo, she's literally one of the biggest hit or miss promo people in the ring. It's either really going to be a good promo or it's going to be like, oh, okay. I mean, you know, I guess it was sort of there. And the day, it was one of those days. It was like, okay, I guess it was there, you know? Because, like, she was saying a bunch of, like, weird stuff at the beginning, and I was just like, where are you going with this?
Girl,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Bianca Belair has to stay a face. There's not even a vibe of heel in her.
Oh no,
Yeah.
there's some heelish in there, but I don't know why people want her to go heel. I
don't see no heel. I don't see. I see nothing but natural baby face.
There's some
in Bianca.
heel in there. There's some.
No,
heel in
I
there,
mean-
you
I
can
mean-
tell.
I mean, to
But-
be fair, in NXT she was a heel,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm looking at her as a baby face, and I'm like, man, she's just likable
She's
as a
too
baby face.
over with the little young girls. You know, it's just hard for her to go heel. It's hard.
Oh yeah, now it is. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
it's extremely.
But-
she's
but-
stuck as a face.
In order to build this feud, I think you need to keep these ladies away from the mic as much as possible. Unless Bianca Belair is like, I got this brilliant promo against A. Then you hear it first and like,
Dude.
okay, that might work.
All right, so I think the ladies are gonna have a phenomenal match. Do you see Street Profits watching Bianca Belair's back now with Judgment Day?
They might. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They might. But the match between Ripley and Bianca should be really
That's
solid.
gonna be an A+. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it should be really good. That I'm looking forward to.
All right. So we'll move on to the next segment. Anyone else has any interjection on this one before we move on?
No.
All right. No problem. We'll move on.
I do. I do.
Go ahead.
Keith Lee, you suck.
Oh, come on, man.
Always.
Oh, come on, man.
Always.
Wrong program though. If you want to say that.
No. This is on the Heel the Ring podcast. We stop.
Okay.
We look at the
Fine.
camera. Thank you for Simon reminding me. We look at the camera, and you say, "Hey, Keith Lee, you suck." Now, tonight, in about 20 minutes from now, NXT will be live. I will be in attendance right as soon as the wrestlers come up because it's taped. As soon as you go up the stairs, I am there. And my lovely wife, we're right there, as you're going to see with the Mets guy, with the guy who has the Mets and the Puerto Rican flag. I'm right behind him. Good friend, Andy. So salute to him. We'll see you next 2 weeks from now in NXT. And when you have the match, I think it's with Von Wagner. And the main event, you're going to listen carefully. The Jedi says, "Yo, Keith Lee, you suck." And I pay the price with a little laryngitis. So
hold on. So you said there was a Mets guy sitting beside you?
Not a Mets guy, the Mets. He's got a Mets.
So he's a fan of the New York Mets.
He's a fan of the New York Mets. A nice guy, a Puerto Rican guy. I think it's Andy. His name is really cool dude. Always there in NXT, and we sat right behind him. He actually said, "Hey," so I'm gonna see me with my Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan shirt, and I will be there. I am there in about 10 minutes. NXT live on USA Network. So I will be there because it's a taped event, and we'll be breaking that down tomorrow with Samurai. But we'll move on. We don't want to take up any much more. Yes, sir.
I find my glasses, but just because I have them on, and also obviously Jedi's a Yankees fan, so now they're a Jedi. We're gonna say this: New York Mets, you suck.
He's a nice dude. I don't know what they want.
I know, but
he got us the good seats there. I don't, he probably listening to the podcast right now, so
yeah.
We'll see. Now we'll move on here to another peanut butter and jelly squash match. Mustafa Ali taking on Chad Gable. I want to go with MK. Your thoughts on this? I think right now, from this hour down, Raw started like tucking you into bed.
Basically. I was like, man, we're getting Chad Gable, which I like. I like Chad Gable and Otis, and then
thank you, thank you.
And then it's like Mustafa Ali, and I'm like, oh my god, damn.
I don't care. You can just skip me.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at Chad Gable wrestle in the ring, and I'm like, man, this guy, I can watch this guy wrestle all day. And then it's Mustafa Ali, and I'm like, Mustafa Ali he's okay to watch in the ring, but I don't know. He's just create a character, He's just create a wrestler, to me. I don't know. There's nothing really there for him.
He did show. Let me ask you this: he did show a little charisma when he kind of said, he made fun out of Chad Gable. I think he said thank you or shoes. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, and the crowd goes mild, my guy. Yeah, it looks like shoosh, and I'm like, wait, what? What did he say? All right, never mind.
You didn't expect it. You thought it was gonna be another boring. He is a little.
Oh no, the match is fine. It's just I look at Mustafa Ali and I'm like,
his charisma, his whole aura. It's like
it's just like, oh, he's just a guy. I'm like, okay, whatever. Bring back Retribution. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Bring back
Samurai.
Resistance.
Samurai, what's your thoughts on the Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable match there? I think Chad Gable is going to be a superstar in a couple years. He's going to be really a top guy there. What's your thoughts, Samurai?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like both guys. I mean, Alpha Academy is good too, as a unit. But I mean, I just feel like the right guy won because it doesn't seem like Mustafa Ali wants to be there. He's wrestling like he doesn't want to be there, and the fact that he's wrestling like that. I mean, I could pick up on it. I'm not even, I wasn't really paying attention to the match. I was doing something else. I just feel like he has to prove himself again to me. I mean, I like Mustafa Ali because, I mean, shit, in WWE 2K22, he's actually my tag team partner in Universe mode. That's how much I like him.
That's a shame.
I know.
Sad.
But, hey,
Man, we haven't done this in quite some time. But you know what, Samurai?
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
Out of every wrestler he could have chosen to be his partner, I'm gonna go with Mustafa Ali.
Well, to be fair, he is carrying him in the team. So, you know, I'm just saying.
I mean, it is true. I win most of the time, so I don't know. Like I said, I feel like he's wrestling like he doesn't want to be there. And if he really wanted to be there, he would get some wins, which he hasn't since he's been back. So
yeah, it shows. Let's see what happens with him. I mean, maybe he'll get in a match where he'll get written off, injury bad, where he don't see. But I think the WWE wants to hold on to him because they have the big Saudi Arabian pay-per-view in November, and I think that's where.
I mean, to be fair, they got Mansoor, my guy. He's a big star. I mean,
yes.
Where is he? Where is Mansoor? I haven't seen Mansoor in like weeks.
They're saving him up for big matches and crown jewels. So just you wait.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, Mustafa Ali is not Saudi. He's like what, half Pakistan, half Indian.
Is he? Is he really?
Yeah,
he's American too, obviously.
Yeah,
Isn't he born in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm just to point that out there, But anyways, let's just move on from it.
Yeah, then and then we got that, and then if you weren't full yet, they gave you another slice of squash. You have Veer Mahan taking on Rey Mysterio. Man, I'm like, my goodness, is this what Rey Mysterio has gotten to? Heel. You love wrestling luchadors. Explain.
Their defense, I understand what they were going for here. They were like, well, Rey Mysterio is known for fighting giants. Rey Mysterio's even fought the Undertaker at Royal Rumble, and then, he put up. Oh, sorry, my thing cut out for a second. But anyway, he even put up a great fight against Undertaker, and almost won that title. So I think they were like, if we could have him fight Veer Mahan and then have Veer Mahan go over, then maybe this will show the fans how great Veer Mahan is. But here's the big problem that sometimes wrestling companies don't get. If we don't care about that wrestler, then how are we supposed to get into him to begin with, no matter what you do? So, and also Rey Mysterio, he's so over that a loss doesn't bother him. Wrestlers just get to that point in their career where they can take as much losses that you want to the point where it don't matter to them anymore. Like losses just don't matter. But problem is Veer Mahan, to him, wins and losses do matter, but we just don't care about him enough. No one does. Every time when he comes out, I can tell he gets a dry reaction. It's almost like he's just a guy walking to the ring. And I understand what they're trying to do with this story, but it's leading nowhere because, again, people just aren't invested in Veer Mahan. So the thing I would like to do in WWE is you're going to have to, almost repackage Veer Mahan already because he's already lost. I'm sorry. He's just coming out there to this point and doing nothing. He really is, or at least put him in the tag team something. Because I don't know what you do with Veer if you don't want to repackage him. Because he's just taking up TV time to this point.
What's your thoughts, Samurai?
Well, I mean, they did the wrong thing by making I guess feuding him with Rey Mysterio. They should have brought him out as a face. I mean, if he would have attacked the Miz, would have been a different story. We would have been behind him at that point. Nobody likes Veer Mahan because of who he attacked, who he came out and attacked. That's where he's.
That's not true.
Well, in my opinion, it is. But I just feel like yes, he is getting rather stale. I don't know where they go with him from here. I mean, it's just like the same rinse and repeat with him when he comes out. He's gonna win. I mean. Just like Heel says, repackage him. He needs to be repackaged already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can interject here for 1 second, I think the reason why people don't like Veer Mahan is because as soon as they introduce us to him, which is again The very first time we got introduced to Veer Mahan was when he was in a fancy hotel in Dallas. We all thought we were getting the I forgot what ethnicity he is, but the basically Indian version of Alberto Del Rio.
It was a
And so
Bollywood character. It could have
yeah,
been a Bollywood,
yeah,
yeah.
basically Bollywood character. So we didn't think we were gonna get this meathead,
Look, it
tribal.
looks like a caveman,
Yeah,
like indigenous. Like he doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
no
yeah. Pretty much came in. We thought we were actually gonna get an intelligent
Neanderthal.
Bollywood
Yeah.
fancy, indie dude that actually knew what he was doing, not this caveman type of guy. And then they just completely booked him wrong. Like they
They
really
should,
messed up. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even blame Veer Mahan for the fact that he's failed. At least not 100%. I would have blamed WWE's booking on this.
yeah.
Yeah.
MK, do you have anything there, or do I want to?
Yeah. I gotta say something about this. With Veer, there's potential there, but the problem is that with the WWE right now, there's way too many guys that they're building, like too many giants and powerhouses that they're building right now. That Veer Mahan just looks like it's a bit too oversaturated right now. We got Omos on Raw, we got Walter on SmackDown, right? There's way too many big guys right now that they're focusing on, and with Veer, I actually agree with Samurai. I actually would much rather they would have booked him more as a baby face, and actually develop more of a personality. Him just coming out and just grunting and being a typical, powerhouse, foreign giant kind of guy. I'm like, well, it's been there, done that. It's like I'd actually change things up, and it doesn't do anything for Veer. Sure, working with Rey Mysterio in theory could help him, but it did not in execution, which sucks. But I don't know, and I just feel like this feud should move on. Rey should move on. Veer should move on. I don't know, just not a very good start with this Veer stuff, because I do see a lot of potential. I don't know.
I agree with you, MK.
Listen, they should have done Veer Mahan. I'm not saying exactly like that, but like Max Dupree, like LA Knight. Come out in a nice suit for a couple of weeks. Look, I'm too good. I'm really, over, because he dresses really nice if you see him on social media. Also a nice guy. I'll tell you a story about him on social media. There was a young lady who, I think she came over from India. Her child had a party. No one showed up. And she was venting on Twitter, and he responded. And he wished the kid a happy birthday and so forth. Check it out on Veer Mahan.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Very nice job on him. And he looks like he is a good. I think they need to repackage him. Maybe, hey, get rid of him. Let him go. Take him off 3 weeks on TV. Let him go part of Max Dupree staple of Male Model. I'm not saying and make him look. He could be a Bollywood type of, you could make him that type of package of, because he's not bad. He's not an in-ring performer, not bad, but acting like a Neanderthal. We already saw the Berserker out there. He looks like the freaking Indian Berserker, if you remember. It's like,
I actually think what they could do is, we bring him, get him off TV for a few weeks, have him come back and repackage him as a babyface, and just start killing some dudes, right?
And put him in SmackDown.
You can put him on SmackDown, because I think if you put him as a babyface, he can actually get. There's a little bit more smaller guys he can work with there too. You got Ricochet, you got Xavier Woods to work with, right? Well, that would make him no. He got Sami Zayn to work. Damn, that right there. If you put him as a baby,
Kofi Kingston, they could still. You could still, man. There's talent there that can help him. I agree with you. I would like him to go.
Again, there's potential there. He's a very athletic guy. Like there's nothing wrong with him. Like in the ring, it's just the presentation isn't there. Is lacking right now. And I just feel like it's overdone with the whole foreign heel Indian character, which is why I don't get why they don't make Indian wrestlers be baby faces for some odd reason. I don't know. It's weird.
They have one there in him. To be honest with you, they have it in Veer Mahan if they were to do it the right way. I think so.
Yeah.
I think you could get him over. I think you could really, really make him, level to when Jinder Mahal reign with the world title to that level, a little high, even there, because I think he's got. Believe it or not,
didn't they made he was also a former a baseball player, if I'm not
$1 Million
mistaken.
Arm. The movie
Yeah,
$1 Million Arm is it's about him.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, so there's at least a little bit of cachet with the guy, you know.
That's why
saying.
they should have made him that in the suit, like Max Dupree type of role. I think that role would have worked perfect for him, but we shall see. We don't. I don't like the Veer Mahan we're getting now with that stupid painting there, and he doesn't look.
I'm all for Shanky right now. I'm all for Shanky right now.
I'm all for Sangha from NXT. Now that's a giant, an Indian giant who is a badass wrestler. Check him out. I can't wait when they call him up to the main roster. Now that's a big guy.
What about Shanky though?
Yeah.
You don't like his dance moves, my guy?
Yeah.
Slim Shanky in the house.
I mean,
I'm actually,
remember it's for everyone.
I mean, I'm actually watching NXT right now.
You see me there? You see me there clapping right there? With my wife, I'm clapping right there. I just saw myself on TV. Oh, I loved it. This is one of the T-shirts that I won. The Creed brothers threw my wife a Diamond Club shirt. As soon as they came into the ring, Julius Brutus threw it to my wife, and she grabbed it, and one of the ring announcers gave me the NXT Vengeance shirt, and I was like,
nice. I don't see you yet. I'm watching the Creed brothers versus
Look in the corner where when Creed brothers are on the one is on the opposite side. I'm right there sitting there, right in the corner. Look at the middle of the when they tag rope is. I'm right there. You can't miss me. I just saw myself twice again. Look at that. Look at that handsome double right there.
What a mark.
All right, so we finally get to the main event. Mm-hmm. And not since Ravishing Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior, we had a pose down. Now, this, I'm glad I was asleep. I saw it on the replay. I was not a fan of it. I understand Theory has a good physique and Lashley, but to close out Raw, what's your thoughts here?
I remember weeks ago, like in the second month, and then 2 months ago, when I first when I reviewed AEW, and I was like, really? They entered AEW like this? I had the same reaction to Raw. I was like, really? They entered Raw like this? What time is it? I'm like, oh, it's 10:02. I'm like, yeah, that means Raw's over. I'm like, okay. I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna finish the Rangers game there because my two favorite teams are playing each other. I know we're the combination, but I'm a Rangers and Astros fan. I'm like, okay, overall's over. I know what to talk about tomorrow, and I'm just gonna watch and enjoy the rest of my night. So yeah, I was like, I don't care about this whatsoever. So GG's to both competitors. I don't care.
Samurai, what's your thoughts on that pose down? Were you as hot as heavy as he was?
Yeah,
was those two men in baby oil was posing?
Yeah, was anyone turned on?
I don't know, man.
No.
The crowd went wild for Lashley, my guy.
I don't know. I mean, I think they were just catering to the I don't know. I don't know what they were catering to.
They were catering to
wrestle talk.
No, they're catering to Vince McMahon backstage having a hard on right now. Oh, yeah. God damn it, pal. Yeah. This is great.
Bobby and Theory flex. Oh, my God, yeah.
Bruce is telling him, settle down, Vince. Settle down.
I mean, honestly, it was really bizarre. I didn't like it.
Oh, I didn't like it either.
Look at that, Hunter. He's got muscles upon muscles, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to end up doing his bodybuilding federation like he did back in the day with Lex Luger.
I think we need to test Theory. He may be onto something. No, I'm not saying. I'm saying he's.
But I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole segment. I thought it was like, I'm like, really, this is what you're going to close Raw with? Maybe the numbers they're seeing that they've been saying that the dip after the third hour of Raw has been dipping. And Raw, yes, it does still need to be a 3-hour show. I don't think they should cut it to 2. I still think personally, I'm actually one of the minorities to say they need to stay at 3 because they could give. There's a lot. You could do a lot of storyline in 3 hours. People look forward on Monday to watch those 3 hours. It showed it in the past. It's just they gotta that third hour. They just got to give us something. I like the fact, and they didn't want to close it with a diva because they've been doing it all the time. For the past 3 weeks. Heel, what's your thought? I see you chopping on the
Here's the way I look at it. If you want better revenue, like more ads and stuff like that coming to the E, you go for 3 hours. If you want more entertainment, then you go 2 hours. That's the way I always saw it.
But then you end up with they end up with AEW. 3, it's not enough. 2 hours, and you're leaving stuff, and then you're cramming. You're trying to cram, 10-pound into a 5-sack, 10-pound sack.
Here's the big difference, though, and I know some AEW fans didn't hear this and like, what? You don't know what you're talking about. But WWE actually knows how to book stuff, and they know how to book on a more consistent basis. So, and on top of that, USA, that's their biggest show. And WWE has gone over their time limit so many times before, like even I think 20 minutes before sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they so like if they ever were to somehow go back to 2 hours, it would actually be more easier on us fans. But they stay at 3 hours because we don't mind it, and on top of that, it just gives them more money and more time to do things. So I guess it's the win-win for everyone in a weird way. Either way.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I actually do agree with Heel on that one. It's like, from a business perspective, I understand why they went to 3 hours, right? And could they book a Raw that is entertaining for 3 hours? Yeah. And I feel like they have been more consistent with Raw the last several months. I've been enjoying Raw a lot more than I have with SmackDown. But I just feel like in general, like a wrestling show should be no more than 2 hours when it comes to a weekly television show. But that's just me. But I will say this, though, just to end it off here. Even with that, I feel like from the numbers and stuff, Raw's ratings have actually kind of went slightly up over the last couple weeks. Because before they were in the 1.5, 1.6 range. Now they're kind of in the 1.7s, 1.8. So they're closer to what SmackDown's doing right now, which at least you could say it's a little bit of an improvement, especially for playoff season. So there's that.
Yeah, there's playoffs and stuff, and kids are not going to stay up longer to watch. The numbers are going to go up. And they're going to go up. Even NXT, the numbers have gone up. It's just a cycle. It's just what, there's so much other things. And also now with all Netflix stuff are done and over. Ozarks, The Boys, all those shows, everyone already binge and watched them. Nothing new is productive. They'll go back into the wrestling eyeballs. It's a wave. It's a wave pattern, in my opinion. With that, Samurai, anything you want to bring in here on this, or you're good?
I am good. I'm good. I don't know what else to add to that. I mean, everything you're both, all you are saying is, factual information, and people need to, suck it up and deal with it.
Yep. So that was the end of the Monday Night Raw reviews. I want to do a little news and notes real quick. The big news that we all know is in Volusia County, Florida. That's about 40 miles away from my home in Orlando. Jeff Hardy, unfortunate incident, was pulled over by Volusia County Police and for a third DUI in 10 years. He was arrested and was held. The breathalyzer 2.0, 2.1, if I'm not mistaken. I might get the numbers wrong, so forgive me if I got it wrong. But all in all, he had a over the limit blood alcohol content, and he was arrested, bailed out on bonds, and as we saw, Tony Khan suspended, and Warner Brother Media asked him to remove from all promos and from the roster for now. And what's your thoughts? It's a sad black guy for the wrestler Jeff Hardy, not the AEW entertainer, not the WWE entertainer, but the person Jeff Hardy. I'm gonna go with you, Hugh. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird because you really don't know what to say to this point. I've been through all 3 of these DUIs, and I think all of them are on YouTube as far as like talking about them. And it's no disrespect to Jeff Hardy. Like I'll say it again. I really do truly hope he gets better, and I don't know what causes him to keep, relapsing and keeps going back to his demons per se. But I just hope he gets better and finds, a good healthy path in this life. And then I get it, sometimes you just want to go out in the world and have fun and try to relax, but sometimes a little bit of too much fun is a bad thing, and you just got to learn to stay away from those stuff, or at least learn your limits. And I hope Hardy can eventually learn those things. And he honestly, I'm surprised at the age he's at the age that he's at that he hasn't learned to slow down on certain stuff like this, because he's getting to that point of his career where he's towards retirement, and I don't know, maybe he just uses it to cope with the pain or something like that. I don't know. And stuff and stories like this with wrestlers kind of scares me, because you never know why they're doing certain things. And so I just hope Jeff Hardy the best, and I hope Matt is there to make sure that he's doing well too. And yeah, I just hope the best for him.
MK, any thoughts on what's your thoughts on the situation?
First off, I have there's nothing really much I can really say other than I have zero sympathy for Jeff Hardy at this point. Look, man, we this has like been an up and down battle with all the arrests and all the shit for the better part of, excuse my language, for the better part of 20 for the better part of 20 years. And I'm a Jeff Hardy fan as much as the next person, but to be honest with you, at this point, I know he's suspended, but to be honest with you, they should take one step further and fire the guy. Yeah, I'm actually dead serious on saying that he should be fired. No ifs, ands, or buts. His health and his well-being is a lot more important than taking bumps. Sure, he's suspended and without pay, but to be honest with you, I think he should be out of the business once and for all. I think he should step away, do his own thing, get help. But then again, at the same time, as much as I like Jeff Hardy, Jeff Hardy is a very selfish human being. I'm dead serious on saying that, because he doesn't care about his career. He certainly doesn't care about himself. He really just wants to go out and be reckless. Oh, and I get addiction is a battle, right? But at some point, whether you're a fan of him or not, we can't just look the other way when it comes to Jeff. Enough is enough. He should be out of the business. When I mean by out of the business, he should not be signed to any major promotion whatsoever. And again, this is me being a big Jeff Hardy fan, but guess what? Look at his rap sheet, and I just don't want him to become another Sonny situation. I actually think what's best for Jeff is for him to get out of the business. But then again, I don't know, because for all I know, he can be he's suspended now, and then 3 months he's back, and it's like we're okay, and then rinse and repeat. It's just like what's the point? I don't know. Like I at this point, I'm just numb to it. I have no sympathy for it. So yeah, that's all I got to say about Jeff Hardy. Whatever.
You're entitled to that, and I'm gonna send it to Samurai in a minute. Volusia County is the same county where Sonny had that hit and run that killed that person, unfortunate incident, and that was the same county, and it's not that big. That's the Daytona Beach area, the Volusia County line, and that's where Sonny got arrested recently, and now she's serving her sentence. And I can understand you're upset because, one, this is a third offense. He should be driving with a car with a breathalyzer to turn on the vehicle, and also you're a millionaire. No matter what, even if he looks grungy and looks the way he looks appearance-wise, they're millionaires. You could order an Uber, even if you know you were going to drink, and you were going to have a good time. You could have Ubered to there was a music concert, and then they were in a Dave and Buster's. He separated from Matt, what I'm told, and he went his way, and Matt went his other way. Also, Matt should have known his brother's not in condition to drive. He should have no, bro, I'm going to drive you. We'll come back to this car, rental car, whatever the case is. Also, I'm not saying, everyone is accountable for their own actions. And besides, I don't know the whole story. I'm going by what I read from the dirt sheet. So I could be telling you, that could be read the wrong things. But all in all, you are a millionaire. You could afford an Uber. You know, get an Uber, pay the Uber. You got money. So what if you lose the car, it gets told? You still got money to bail. It's not like and there's no excuse for anyone to drink and drive. But even a Joe Schlo who can't afford an Uber, but you shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be drinking. And if you can't afford an Uber, you shouldn't be drinking, consuming alcohol or any illegal substance. I'm not saying he had drugs, but it was alcohol. You should. That's where it bothers us.
He went nearly four times above the limit, which that was just ridiculous.
I'm not trying to make any excuses for the guy. I hope nobody takes it that way.
Right.
But maybe his mindset for not ordering the Uber or like that was like, oh, I just don't want to deal with like a crazed fan in case I run into one, because then things might get worse.
Uber don't. Uber is such a Uber or Lyft, even private rental companies. You know, NFL has it. They have, you know, when guys go drinking, they offer car services. And guys still do. And of course, doesn't exempt the NFL. You've seen guys do it over in the past. They still stupidity. It's just a cloud of judgment there. Samurai, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts are basically the same as everybody else. I just feel like, you know, he shouldn't be drinking anyway. Like, he should be more focused on his health and his well-being instead of going out and partying. Like, you're 40, what is he, 44 years old, 42 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
He's too old to be partying like that, man. Like, I don't know why he wants to try and stay relevant in that way. I mean, I love Jeff Hardy and Matt. I grew up watching the Hardy Boys when back in the 90s, and actually, you know, me and my brother, we wanted to get into wrestling because of those two, because of their high flying crazy antics, you know. And now, if my brother were to watch wrestling now, he would think that Jeff Hardy's gone, you know, from being cool to being a disappointment.
That's how it is. You know, you're on top of the mountain for a moment. One mistake just drop you down and totally humbles. Hopefully he gets the right help. It doesn't matter. It's not being tribal here. It's not blaming any organization, but that's what led to his WWE release. Vince McMahon, the same way he wanted Moxley to get rehabilitation, to get help, and check Hardy into and get him off camera, get him off the TV. Hardy refused not to. He walked out on the WWE. Ultimate was released. Tony Khan with his hands wide open. Maybe he might have thought, well, his brother's here. Maybe he could help him. Nonsense. An addict is an addict, no matter who or what it is. You know, we all struggle with an addiction, no matter what. You know, and he has to work with it. And I hope they support him with the proper rehabilitation, not just 3 weeks and we're back at it. No, something really strong where you could work with. One thing I do want to say is encouraging where Hardy, if he listens, you got Jake the Snake Roberts, who went through all that himself. Dallin Diamonds Page, who is also a trainer there, that's gone through that ups and downs. I don't know. Sometimes when you're in your own fog, you can't listen to any voices outside. But there's guys who's been through there. Hopefully, someone could get to him, get him the right help. And you know what? I hope that he cleans his life for good. And if he never wrestles again, I'm fine with it as long as he's clean and he has a healthy life and he goes forward as a functioning person in society. I will be, phenomenal. That's what I wish for the best for Hardy, Jeff Hardy, going forward there.
I agree.
Yeah. And sorry for laughing. I thought Samurai for a second botched it said 14 years old. I was like, I'm sorry.
All right. So another news and notes before we wrap up. We have former WWE Divas champion Paige, now go by the name of Sarai. She will be leaving WWE as of July 7th. She has said she's never felt so healthy in her life. She understands why WWE is not renewing her contract. They have no use for her. They're not going to pay her to do nothing, and she understands that. Now, she says she would like to get back in the ring and wrestle sometime. She's still in her 20s. Has not been cleared by any medical doctors whatsoever. She has gotten 2 neck injuries in her career. Do you see Paige moving on in the wrestling business or moving on to something endeavor? NK.
With Paige is weird because she's had multiple neck injuries, but she's also has a history of scoliosis, right? So the chances of her getting back into the ring is super unlikely. Now, does she want to wrestle again? Of course she wants to wrestle. Could she? I mean, would she? I mean, will they let her? As of right now, no. I think, I don't know. Right now, I think she's gonna try to push to wrestle again. But to be honest with you, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Right. Heel, what's your thoughts?
It's really hard to come back from something like that. So honestly, my simple prediction is she might just simply move on from wrestling. And I'm not saying I want her to do this or like that. I'm not into Paige like that, but I'm just saying she might even just simply open up an OnlyFans. Because I know that's why a lot of female wrestlers are going down.
And that was the segment, Pig of the Ring. The Pig of the Ring segment from Heel.
Hey, I'm just saying, she's already got leaked tapes out there. May as well go. May as well get paid for it.
Samurai, your thoughts?
What? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, she has scoliosis. I have scoliosis. I mean, and that doesn't stop me from doing what I want to do. But to be fair, I think that she goes. I mean, if she wants to wrestle, she might as well just do what everybody else does and go to AEW.
Well, there's a lot of talks about that. That she's and WWE is not giving her a 90-day not complete. She could first day off if she wants to go July 8th and show up in AEW, she can. She could sign with any organization she would like to. That's how much WWE knows that she is not able to ready. If I'm Paige, I will be so scared for her to go AEW because all she needs to get in with Kira Hogan and forget it. Her career is over. They drop people on their heads so much, and they are so sloppy in AEW. I will be so scared for her if she goes there to wrestle. And I will be so scared for that, man.
I mean, to be honest, I have not watched a single episode of AEW except for like the MJF thing. So I would actually have to watch. I might actually try and give AEW a shot tomorrow and see if it's botch free, I guess.
No,
no.
There's a lot of botches there.
Yeah, every week, even the pay-per-views, there's always going to be
several botches. Yeah.
I just think that they need to just stop.
Well, we leave that for another day. Let's end this with one more thing in news and notes. Troy Donovan, aka Tony Two Dimes, no longer in NXT due to some wellness policy removed from NXT. They said that WWE likes him. If everything gets cleared up, he could return within a year. Personally, let me tell you from my experience with Tony Two Dimes, I've met the kid, very nice kid who says hello, even though he's a heel and he's in character. When he leaves the ring, he kind of hides the fist bumps to the crowd. He gives people fist bumps, salutes everyone that's in there in NXT. I saw him in the back when I went, when I went for a walk to go to use the bathroom, came back in. I saw him in the back. Very nice guy, said hello. Really good kid. Personally, I hope he does well. I hope, whatever situation was gets cleared and he returns. It looks like they let him go due to wellness, and I think the doors are going to be open for him to return. It'll be interesting when we do the NXT review tomorrow, see what storyline they're going to do now with Fantasma Legado and the Tony Two Dimes and the family. What now that they're losing a man, but we'll stay tuned for that when we break that down. Samurai, any thoughts on Troy Donovan, aka Two Dimes? On your thoughts?
I had no idea that he was released for that reason, but usually if it's a first offense, it's like if he's suspended, it's 30 days, right? So
yeah, they said within a year. I don't know why, but maybe I hope it's 30 days.
I think he's just suspended. I mean, because like, there's no way, there's no reason to really release him if he just, if it was just one offense, his first offense, unless they change the Owens policy, which I don't think Lex Luger would do that, because he's
and from looking at the pictures before and after, Troy got a little bigger. I'm not saying anything about it. He got much more bigger. He was a scrawny little kid, but now, and you know what? He does fit the part of a wrestler. He has the making of something, with some NXT wrestling. He's got a it factor, but hopefully the kid gets back, man. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big champion of him, and I hope he does well. Hope he gets back in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, from what I saw of him, he has potential. He has a ways to go, but like I said, they shouldn't. They should just suspended him for 30 days instead of just doing what they did and releasing him.
I agree.
I feel like they because I mean, who's Stacks and 2 Dimes, right? So yeah. Stacks doesn't have a tag team partner right now.
He doesn't have a henchman. I said we saw Gio. We'll break that down tomorrow. We don't want to get too much into the NXT. We'll do our news and notes in NXT. We'll leave it with the NXT. Please stay tuned for that. For tomorrow night, we'll do the NXT 2.0 coverage. And any other news and notes I've seen. That's all the news and notes I've seen there. Other than that, Hugh, anything you heard in your there? All right, so we basically want to thank everyone for joining us this evening on the Heel of the Ring Raw wrap replay, rewind, and recap show. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have the NXT 2.0, and of course AEW. No Diffman this week. Diffman is on vacation, well-deserved vacation. Hopefully we'll get him next week on there, and we'll get him better than ever. Get his battery recharged. But from me to you guys, remember, pin life, get over, and always, always, always get ahead. And we thank you guys for giving us some of your time on the Heel of the Ring podcast. We'll see you later.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab it bad, I don't know. My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever